Hello everybody, this is Pete Moxon for Disciplined Traders. You can find us at www.d-traders.com, and today is the 30th of October 2010, and I want to run through some of the markets that we're trading just to highlight the possible buy and sell points that we're looking at. Okay, let's get started with the S&P 500. We've got a daily chart showing at the moment, and we can see that price has made its way back into this big supply level that was generated back in April, and it's at this price level. You can see this nice big grey rectangle I've got on the chart that's identifying where we are expecting sellers to come into the market and push prices down. Now it's a daily time frame, so don't expect a really fast reversal. Normally this takes a bit of time, so I'm expecting price to come up. It may get to new highs here on the S&P to what we've seen, but I fully expect it to be contained within this price level and then to move lower. Where it may go lower, let's have a look. We've got the 1160 level, which we can see here. This the lower this candle on October 19th. And then beyond that, probably get some sort of bounce at the 1150, and then looking to go to the 1130 level. This lower rectangle, this is where, if prices did get to this level, this is where we'd be looking to buy the market. So pretty straightforward. We come to the top of the range, looking to sell, hopefully reaching the bottom. Nasdaq has been performing better than the S&P, and we can see it's almost got to its highs from mid-April time. Not quite there, but same thing. I expect this to move lower. Quick look at the Dow. Exactly the same type of thing. The Dow was so close to making a new high, but higher than the April high, but it did get rejected. So I am expecting prices to turn down here. Okay, that's the stock market. Let's flick on to Forex. So what we've got here is the daily chart of the Euro USD, and we can see price at the moment is really making quite a large sort of range. It's making a large trading range here, around about 450 pips or so. And why did it stop here? Well, let's have a look. The areas I was looking at originally was up here. So if prices did come to this area, this is where I'd be looking to sell on the daily time frame. It did stop short. Seems to be trading a range, so I wouldn't be taking daily sells off this level because this is the area we've identified. If we go down to the smaller time frames, let's have a look what's going on. Like I say, price is just trading in a range here. There's the upper and lower area, so I'm expecting prices just to bounce to the highs and to the lows, and then we'll just watch the market, see what happens. If it gets near the highs, I very well may take some intraday shorts. If it gets to the lows, take some intraday buys, which is what we've been doing lately. If I go to a 1 hour, I'll show you some of the things we've been looking at. Here we go. So initially we were looking at this balance area down here, looking to get a buy from this area, and that worked out really well. And then over the Twitter stream, we mentioned we expected price to get into the 150 to the 139.50 to the 139.80 level, and that will produce a sell, and that's exactly what it did. Price has come back up, so I wouldn't be surprised if this level now broke. I won't be looking to trade this at all. What I will be waiting for is price to get up to this level. Have a look how price is reacting up there, and then maybe take a short. If price breaks through there, then we'll be looking at the top of this range again, see how price reacts for a possible short. Although if it does break above this 141 level with any good strong momentum, then we could see it head into that upper area that I talked about on the daily time frame up here, maybe reaching 142.50. jump over to the British pound versus the dollar. Daily time frame again. Seem to have more or less a trading range going on, quite a large one. 700, almost 800 pips. And we can see price, accelerated off the lows here back in May up to the 160 level, came back down, found some support, and it's gone back to the 160. It did break to new highs but was rejected quite quickly back into this this trading area just there. Let's zoom in to have a look at the daily candles. So yeah, you can see this big rejection candle there. Price came down, and it came down, more or less to the 50% area of the trading range. Found some support from this candle here. It's bounced back up to the high. The British pound is quite strong at the moment. It seems to be of the majors one of the strongest. So I wouldn't be surprised to see price accelerate and take out this high. Whether it can stay above there is another question. We'll just be watching price to see how it goes. Drop down to the 1 hour, see if there's any opportunities to be seen. Here we go. So up at these levels here, we got this sort of balance area, which is where price then turned around and accelerated down. We're probably going to see some sellers coming in at these levels to try and knock it down. But I would probably use a trailing 1 bar entry method on this. Look for bars to accelerate up, find your resistance level, which we have, and then use the 1 bar entry technique. So when it does we actually wait for price to be rejected first off, and to show that price is turning around and is heading down. So the 1 bar entry method is a good technique to get in on this sort of trade. Let's go to the dollar Swiss. We can see the dollar Swiss has had a massive downtrend going on. I mean, look at this, going from 116 all the way down to the 94 level. Wow, that's huge. What's that, 2200 pips since May, end of May, that is. Well, price, it's made all-time lows. It's bounced back up, and it's bounced back up right to the previous low pivot point that we got here. Found some sellers, and at the moment I think price finished at the low of the day for this pair. Zoom in and have a look. Yeah, so quite bearish candle there, but it didn't break the low of the previous day. So we'll have to wait and see on Sunday and Monday to see if that low does get broken. If it does, it could be quite bearish. Probably see an initial push down to this 97.80 level, and then see what happens from there. Let's go to the 1 hour. Have a look at the intraday moves. Quite an obvious sort of trend line that we've got going on. Here we go. So price does have a little bit of space to come back down to this trend line, around about 30 pips. We can see this point here acted as support in the past. When was that? Thursday. Bounced up to the highs again, got rejected and coming down. So we could find ourselves starting a range trade going on, but we'll have to wait and see. If I was looking at buying and selling levels, then we've got a nice area of balance up here. So price traded around this level, then the sellers won out. Sellers traded it right down. Zoom in. Nice big bearish candle. It did reverse all the way back up, but the sellers stepped in again and pushed it down, which is why then price continued to move lower throughout the day into the close on Friday. So if prices do get to this level again, I do expect sellers to step in, and it could be a good intraday trade opportunity. Doesn't seem to be an awful lot in it for your first target. You have to see what price is doing. Let's go on to the dollar versus the yen. Everyone's been eyeballing this pair lately. We're on the monthly chart here, and we can see, price. It looks as though it's got to go and test this this monthly low down here, this all-time low 79.78. We're virtually there at the moment. Let's go to the daily and zoom in. You know, very bearish close, very bearish close. So it actually closed, look at that, under the low of the 25th. It probably won't take many more pips for a load of stops to get hit and for price to accelerate down, and we've got to fully expect that the 79.77 level, you know, is going to be tested. Let's see if any buyers step in at that point. On the long term, you know, Japan isn't in a fantastic state. You know, it's not as though their economy is head and shoulders above any other. So for me personally, I don't think price deserves to be down at this level. So for some long-term positions, like many other people, maybe looking to nibble at some longs down here once it tests this this monthly level. Intraday, let's have a look. Well, the previous low it made on Wednesday or Thursday was down at the 80.40 level, and it had a good bounce up. It went up 157 pips, found some sellers. Let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah, so it's found more sellers at this resistance point, and it's come all the way back down without the buyers really stepping up to the plate to bring it back up. I know a lot of people were expecting price to come down, maybe down to the 61.8% level, Fibonacci retracement level, and then start to move up. But the dollar showed such weakness on Thursday and Friday, it just wasn't able to do that, and we've ended up right down there. I've got no intraday trade levels for this one really, just looking for that monthly low to get hit, then we'll see what happens after that. Okay, the last pair that I want to cover today is the Euro British Pound. If we go out to a monthly chart, now let's choose a weekly, looks a bit better on a weekly. We can see we've had this big run up over the last few years, and price has come back and tested this weekly downtrend line. And during the week, this week, it came up to this level, it tested it, and we've seen sellers step in and push price lower. Flip onto the daily so we can have a little close up of this level. Okay, this is the level on the daily time frame I was looking up for prices to get into, where I consider any daily time frame trades. Didn't quite make it. It got rejected off this trend line and started to come down. It still may pop up, but look what happened. It did break these lows from the middle of October. Did push down to 86.67. So if it bounces back up, you know, wouldn't surprise me to see sellers step up to the plate after this little retracement and push it back down. And then where could it go? Well, let's put it on a 4 hour. Zoom out a little bit. We've got this area of consolidation, this nice balance area, which also coincides with this previous resistance level, which I expect to turn into a support level. Whether it holds, we'll have to wait and see, but it should at least give some reaction to price. So that's the level I would be looking to you know, try some intraday trades, maybe some daily trades once we get down there. On the upside, on the daily, on the 1 hour, sorry, nice congestion point here where price accelerated fast away from this level. So if price gets up there, you know, I may look to try something in the market there, up here as well. And that's about it. That's about it for the market overview.